Yeah.
Shall we get into some Super Smash Brothers? So, there's a bunch of things happening with Super Smash Brothers right now. First of all, number one is the Super Smash Brothers Ballot, where you can vote for who you personally want to see in Smash Brothers. Of course, I made my list of characters that I want to see in the game, and you have a list too, right?
Yeah, sort of.
How many things do you need to call it a list?
2, right?
Good enough for me.
Did you talk about this before? Because I vaguely remember there being discussion somewhat.
Yeah, when I talked about the Nintendo Direct on the last podcast, this came up a little bit, but I was too busy freaking out about Mario Kart to really pay attention to the Smash Brothers stuff. But since the Mewtwo DLC came out yesterday, so I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Like, I thought it was a good time to just bring up Smash Brothers real specifically, and just, this is something we gotta dig real deep on.
Alright.
If people don't know, I like to drink sometimes, like to wet my whistle. So I come home from work, I have a few drinks, watch a basketball game or whatever.
Get in the hoop.
And then it's like, hey, I'm still drunk, and what should I do now that the basketball game's over? Hey, let's check out the Smash Brothers Ballot. So on at least 2 non-consecutive occasions, I've gone over to the Smash Brothers Ballot website, well, at least slightly inebriated, and decided to cast some votes. Of course, I can't remember everybody I voted for.
How many votes do you think you put in?
Both times, and this excludes the times I was seriously trying to vote for people, both times that I was drunk and voting, I was probably on there for about 45 minutes each time.
It's a lot of votes.
I'm not even sure if they were all votes. I think some of them would have just been ranting about how great Super Metroid is, or why we need another Meteos game. Anyway, here's just a handful of some of the people I voted for in the Smash Bros. Ballot. So, if they ever release the ballots and you see one vote for, that was all me, baby. I voted for Earthworm Jim. That's a given. I'm sure he's got a couple votes. Echo the Dolphin.
What? What would a dolphin fight? With that echo power?
Why don't you show me, Sakurai? Show me how a dolphin fights.
Well.
Maybe he's like in like a water bubble that floats around or something.
I mean, if you could put a fucking Wii trainer in there.
So, continuing. Blake Griffin. He was in NBA Live. He's a video game character.
Well, then you could put any NBA player in there.
Then why don't we?
Good point.
I'm not saying Blake Griffin's the only NBA player I put in the ballot.
You put DeAndre Jordan too?
I'm pretty sure I put all the Clippers players, even the bench players.
At least the starting. Oh, okay.
And Doc Rivers, the coach.
Oh my god.
Anyway, Gino from Mario RPG, of course. I voted for Frog from Chrono Trigger, but I specifically remember not voting for Chrono from Chrono Trigger. So anyone who votes for Chrono can shove it up their ass because I want Frog in the game, not Chrono.
Man, I really gotta play that game to find out what the hell you're talking about.
It's basically a swordsman who's a giant frog. He was turned into a frog by like a witch or something. I don't know, I haven't played the game in a while.
Yeah.
But he was cursed. His name is Glenn. But apparently he's a frog, so everyone calls him Frog. My name is Glenn! When I played through, as a quick aside, when I played through Chrono Trigger the second time, I changed his, because when you get the character for the first time in the game, you can choose their name. And I named him Glenn, because he has a heart, man. Don't just call him Frog like he's that's racist.
Or animalist.
In Chrono Trigger world. Trying to continue on. I voted for Gunman Clive. I was thinking about all of the indie game characters. And a lot of the indie game people now, they see a chance to advertise in Smash Brothers. So they're saying, hey, vote for our indie video game character to put in Smash. And of course, if it's an indie game character, of course they'll give Nintendo the rights to put it in their most popular game. I've been seeing a lot of, hey, vote for our indie game character. Hey, vote for... You know who I haven't seen say that? The guy who made Gunman Clive. So I voted for Gunman Clive. Because that game is rad. And the guy isn't whoring out his game characters. Alright. Moving on. I voted for all the Pac-Man ghosts individually.
So Inky, Blinky,
Pinky, and Clyde. I voted for Chibi Robo, if anyone remembers that game. Jill Dozer of the game Drill Dozer. I voted for Alien Hominid, the original indie game character that was on the GameCube. Sub-Zero and Scorpion. And John Madden. He's been in a ton of games.
He'll just be saying boom the whole... all he does is boom.
That's just every button. It just does that.
Boom. Boom.
Alright, so those are just a few of the game characters I voted for.
Well, there goes one of my picks.
Boom!
Oh, jeez.
Alright.
Yeah, that'd be pretty bad. I had Scorpion. It'd be pretty cool to see. Or even any other Mortal Kombat characters.
Yeah, that would be super cool. Yeah. I should have voted for Raiden also.
Yeah.
Especially if Kirby eats them. That's something you gotta think about too. What if Kirby eats these people?
Kirby with the hat? Oh, man.
Calling down thunder. Before we get into who we wanted in the game, or who we would love to see in the game, like I said earlier, Mewtwo just came out as DLC, the first DLC ever for a Smash Brothers title. And, I stuck with him. Big shock. Because I haven't used them since Melee. When I was playing Super Smash Bros. Melee...
Oh, that's right, he was in Melee.
You know, everyone took the game real seriously back then for the GameCube. And they still do to this day, in fact. I used to be pro with Mewtwo, especially on one-on-one battles. I could just dodge all day and completely infuriate whoever I was playing. So, of course, I get the Mewtwo DLC yesterday. And, you know, I head online and I get my ass completely kicked. So I'm like, okay, maybe I need a little practice. So I go play like a 9 difficulty CPU, and it kicks my ass too. I'm like, wow, I just suck with freaking Mewtwo now. So I got a little practice down to because it's been so long since I played Melee. I'm not sure if there is any real difference between the way he plays in this game and the way he used to play, but it feels like I'm steering a Mewtwo-sized truck because he just seems a little slower. But anyway, I'm just going to attribute it all to me sucking with Mewtwo. And also the fact that I haven't even been playing Smash Brothers lately. Probably for the last month or so. So I'm pretty rusty. Anyway, Mewtwo's awesome, though. I'm glad he's in the game. But also, even more exciting, Lucas is coming to Smash Brothers in June, I believe, as downloadable content.
Lucas is from
Mother 3. Because it never came out in America. That's exactly the reaction you should have. Basically, Earthbound, Ness from Earthbound, right? In all
I know
the
of him from
games.
Smash Brothers, yeah.
Basically, there was a sequel to Earthbound, and it starred Lucas. That's why Lucas and Ness look so similar. And everyone thought, they just kicked him out of Smash Brothers because Mother 3 didn't come out in America, so, maybe he's not a popular character here or something. But I loved him, because I've played Mother 3 fan translation. Well, just the entire game is rad. I'll even talk about it a little more when we get to our own characters. But I'm really excited Lucas is back. I love his Final Smash. I hope he gets a little movie or something, like the other characters did. But I doubt it, since Mewtwo didn't get, one of those big fancy CG movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's super cool, and I'm glad there's more characters from the Mother series, because, as always, that series is super ultra underappreciated for how incredible it is. I haven't played Mother 1, but Mother 2, that's Earthbound in America, and Mother 3 are probably, both in my top 5 games ever.
Damn.
The storyline, just the dialogue and the storyline and the music was all just practically perfect, and so strange and so different from any other game I had played, too. So all of it stands out really clearly in your mind and just makes it super memorable. So now, let's get to who we want to see in Smash Brothers.
Alright.
I guess I'll go first. Number 1, I've been complaining about there needs to be more bad guys on the roster. A good fighting game should have half bad guys, half good guys, right?
Yeah.
So everyone has an equivalent villain they have to fight. And I always hope Smash Brothers would go in that direction. So my first person who I'd want to see in the game is Kamek from Yoshi's Island. He's a Magic Koopa, but he's the Magic Koopa basically, because he's the series antagonist for Yoshi. So how can he not make the game? He has all those built-in attacks, he has his wand to shoot projectiles, he can disappear, he has a broom to fly on. So he's basically already cookie cut to be in a Smash Brothers game. And he's the villain from the Yoshi series. He's been a multiple-time villain for decades now, and he's not getting his due.
Yeah, he's got the tenure.
He's been putting in his hours. But no, Bowser Jr. cuts in front of him. Bowser Jr.'s not as long-time villain as Kamek is even. So anyway, we need Kamek because he's super rad. He's a villain. I'm sure people would be mad that there's going to be more Mario characters. But get over it. There's going to be more Mario characters. There's going to be 1 million Mario characters.
Yeah. It's Nintendo after all.
thank Sakurai that he didn't include Waluigi and Daisy and... Well, yeah, that's it. Just them. Because what would their moves even be? They would kick soccer balls and hit you with a golf club and stuff. Because they're only in Mario sports games. So my number 2, getting back to Mother 3 and Earthbound, is a tie between Kumatora, the female protagonist from Mother 3, and Paula, the female protagonist from Earthbound. Both of them are like, basically, they look a lot like girl versions of Ness or Lucas, just because of the animation of the game. So you'd be a super easy swap or clone character for Ness or Lucas if you want more clones of them.
They basically just like change the hair and the clothes.
Just give them a wig. And they're basically the female characters. I'm rooting a little more for Paula from Earthbound to be in the game, because her special attack Prey would probably be the ultimate smash attack in Smash Brothers.
That's a totally different game, Anthony.
Oh, well, if we're judging games for being different now.
Sorry.
So, those ones are clearly a long shot, because, I mean, we barely got Lucas in the game. Yeah. And I want them to add even more Earthbound and Mother characters. That's not going to happen.
Doubtful.
So number 3 has an outside chance. The same reason, actually, I want to put Kumatora and Paula in the game, because you need more girl characters. Fighting games, overall, probably incorporate the most girl characters of any series, because they just have to include so many people. So by virtue, some of them are going to be girls usually.
Like, what was that fighting game? Dead something.
Dead or Alive?
Dead or Alive.
Yeah, it was like 60 or 70% women.
Yeah.
There's other games that are all women fighting, like Arcana Hearts. Games like BlazBlue, Guilty Gear, like the cast is 50% women. But in Smash Bros, it's not. And I don't know if it's just because of who they want to include, or because of how many protagonists are male in Nintendo series. But it doesn't really matter. I don't think
everyone knows it's because the Japanese are misogynist, Anthony.
You said it, not me.
Just putting it out there.
I'm glad they don't translate this podcast into Japanese. The third character I want to see is a girl also. It would be Toon Zelda. Like how there's a Toon Link. So we would get the Toon Zelda from Wind Waker, Tetra, and she'd basically be like a smaller, faster version of Zelda, which would be really rad, especially because they've split Zelda and Sheik from each other. Before, in Brawl, I also advocated for a Toon Zelda, if they had Toon Link in it, you know? But it didn't make sense that the Zelda from Wind Waker could turn into Sheik, because that's exclusive to the Zelda from Ocarina of Time. She's the only one that ever turned into Sheik.
Okay.
Drop some knowledge on you.
Do you think they'd do like a Toon Sheik too?
No, I thought that might be what trepidation they had to do it. But now they have no excuse, because Zelda and Sheik are their own characters now. So you could be a Toon Zelda who's just smaller, faster, her attacks are a little lighter, and there you are. So that's an easy one. Like, I'm being easy on Nintendo. I'm not asking for the fucking moon.
Yeah.
I just want a couple of, like, modified characters. Alright. Number 4, this is where I'm asking a lot. Chun-Li. She's the strongest woman in the world! How could she not be in the game?
Wait, do they have any of the Street Fighter characters? No.
No. There are a few rumors bouncing around right now that Ryu's might be in the game, which will make sense.
If you have Ryu, you gotta have Ken, right?
Well, you might as well.
Yeah.
If you want more character swaps, yeah. Okay. Because Capcom already gave Nintendo the rights to use Mega Man in the game, I thought a Street Fighter character would be a shoo-in, right?
Yeah.
Fighting games, iconic characters, you automatically think of Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li. They're the 3 that have been in like almost every Street Fighter. Like, you can't kick them out of Street Fighter games. Of course, your Ryu's are going to be the main forerunner, because he's the most popular. And then Ken, probably, and then Chun-Li. But I want to go for Chun-Li, because I think that will be a little more out of left field than putting Ryu in. Yeah. Plus Chun-Li, like, I think her attacks would be really cool in the game, because she has all those crazy kick attacks.
Yeah.
And I've already created my own Chun-Li using the Mii creator, and my own Ryu and Ken. So it'll be fun to pit them against the real thing.
Oh man, I want to know what their smash attacks would be.
I hope it's Dark Ryu, if Ryu is really going to be in the game.
Oh man.
And finally, continuing this girls trend that apparently happened when I was making my list.
Nothing wrong with it.
I want Sammy from Advance Wars. I keep bringing up Advance Wars on this podcast.
Yeah.
Sammy is one of the main characters from Advance Wars and Advance Wars 2 Black Hole Rising for the Game Boy Advance. And she was also one of the characters in Advance Wars DS. So I think she has enough pedigree to get into a game. She's kind of in the same Chun-Li situation though, in the fact that like 3 characters from Advance Wars are Andy, Sammy, and Max. And of course Andy and Max are a little more well known. They're the 2 guys. But of course, I love Advance Wars, so I'd love to see any of those characters in the game. Especially if they gotta pull out tanks and guns and all kinds of sweet stuff.
Oh man.
And then calling in a bunch of tanks or like an air raid or something for their final smash. Wouldn't that be pretty sweet if you could just call in a stealth bomber for your final smash?
That'd be pretty badass.
Of course, I definitely want to see Sammy in the game, especially because she always has a machine gun with her. But in Advance Wars, you don't really play as that character. You control their army. So it would be cool to see one of the people from Smash Brothers, just like Star Fox. Before the first Smash Brothers came out, Fox was always only in like a plane, and he just shot things.
Yeah.
You know, like you never saw him get out of the plane. And then
Never actually played as Fox.
Yeah, you played as a plane being flown by Fox.
Yeah.
That was the first time they took him out of like the thing, and they gave him this whole little story how he knows karate and he's super fast because he's a fox and everything. And that was really cool to see Fox like that for the first time. Now we all take it for granted. Fox was just a talking head, literally, before that. So I would love to see the same thing happen for Advance Wars, and of course I'm rooting for Sammy, but either Max or Andy would be great also, because Andy has like a giant wrench. That would be pretty great too. And Max is just like a really huge, strong character. So he'd be like a burly, like Ballot or Donkey Kong type if you put him in.
Yeah. So you'd just be happy with any character from Advance Wars.
Just acknowledge Advance Wars. The only thing Advance Wars in Smash Brothers right now is the most impotent, useless assist trophy where like 2 little tanks come out and they just drive off the side of the cliff. Like if you get hit by it, they move real slowly so you can just jump over them. But if you do get hit by one of these little tanks moving at like a mile an hour, you just take like a couple points of damage, and then it just goes through you and past you and just jumps off the side of the stage anyway.
That doesn't seem very helpful at all.
Not even a little bit helpful. So you throw it on the floor and you're hoping something useful, right? And then it's just, and these 2 stupid little tanks come out and they just drive away. It's like when you would get like a crummy firework for 4th of July that wouldn't go off. Alright, so those are my 5 characters. Kamek, Kumatora / Paula, because they're tied. Toon Zelda, Chun-Li, and Sammy from Advance Wars.
Sure that was only 5?
I'm pretty sure. And you had some characters you wanted to... Because you're not as big into Smash as I am. But
No,
you still played it a lot.
Yeah, I'm somewhat of a fan. And I have no idea like what the alliances are with Nintendo. I have no idea who they'd be able to get. But one of the characters I pick would be Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. I think that'd be cool.
That would be really iconic.
Yeah, and it's another woman in the game. Yeah.
No, Lara Croft is from England. Not just the character, but the companies that make her are also from England.
Okay.
So that would be like the first English company that will get a character in Smash Brothers.
There
that
you
would
go.
be really cool too.
Yeah, and she can whip out all kinds of guns and shoot people.
You shoot everybody.
Yeah. Well, since you had mentioned Scorpion, I crossed that one out, and I picked any of the Ninja Turtles. I think that'd be badass.
But only one. The rest have to stay in the turtle cave.
Well, you don't think that you could just swap bandanas and... you gotta have...
No, because you gotta switch the weapons.
Yeah, that's true.
But that would be maybe if you remember Pokemon Trainer from Smash Bros. Brawl, how you could switch between Pokemon. Maybe you could switch between the turtles.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. Nintendo, make it happen.
I especially want to see a Ninja Turtle fight Bowser.
Yeah. They both do, like, shell attacks. Oh, man.
Cowabunga!
Oh, and smash attacks is, like, surfing.
They just eat a pizza. Radical! Tubular!
And then, like, splash sewage on everybody.
I gotta run them over in the turtle van.
Oh, yeah!
That's not very ninja-like.
Casey Jones pops out. Now, there's an assist. So, like I was saying, I don't know if this would be possible, but I got a couple Microsoft characters like Master Chief from the Halo games.
Man, I wish. I would really actually... Well, I would actually pick someone from Gears of War before I pick someone from Halo. But I would still like to see someone from Microsoft, because I bet Microsoft is willing to do it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they're definitely willing to. I think the Gears of War characters, they're like too bulky and like it'd be
too hardcore.
Yeah, the way they move around, it's like really clunky and it doesn't seem very efficient for fighting.
They would just be really slow like Ganon, and they'd still have a gun. It's got to be pretty useful.
So we basically just want to see a bunch of characters with guns.
And yeah, what's the difference between that and the Halo guy in his 800-pound mech suit?
Well, yeah, it's like a super suit. You can jump really high, so get in those levels. Yeah.
I guess that's true. I don't know what that suit does.
Who knows?
Oh, one thing, as an aside, I wanted to say, I saw a toy Halo thing. I haven't really played Halo, but I saw a toy where he's in his Master Chief armor, whatever you call that Halo armor that he wears. But he also has like a cape on. What? I thought this was a state-of-the-art super suit, and you have to put a cape on too to keep dust out or something? That's a little... he doesn't have a cape on because he needs to be warm. Like, he has, like, a cloak with, like, a hood. You have a helmet on, you don't need a hood.
Yeah.
If you have a super suit on, you don't need a cloak.
Huh.
You're literally wearing the most sophisticated technology in that universe. But you also need a jacket.
It's basically what they're saying. Packaging that you saw?
It was like a Halo toy. Halo with Halo cloak.
Yeah, I have no idea why they would do that.
Well, I'm not here to judge toys, because, when I was a youth, I used to work at Toys R Us, and the most annoying thing I ever saw was Spider-Man toy Spider-Copter. He doesn't need a helicopter, he swings from the buildings. If any hero needs a helicopter, it's not him.
Yeah.
A helicopter would be worse to try to get between buildings in New York.
There's never been a helicopter in any Spider-Man series anywhere.
And of course they had a spider car. Can you imagine Spider-Man trying to drive his spider car through New York? All that traffic.
He keeps lifting it up with his web and basically flying.
He just takes the whole car with the web.
I bet he never has to pay for parking.
What a hero.
Alright. Another Microsoft character I really liked was from a game that I spent many, many hours playing. And it's just really, I don't know, there's something about it. I was just...
Tetris.
Really delving. No.
The Simpsons game.
Yeah, Simpsons characters in Smash Brothers. Yeah, maybe. No, it was Abe's Odyssey. I think it'd be really cool to see Abe, even though he really doesn't have any special abilities I think of.
Wasn't the point of that game was that he didn't really have any abilities?
Yeah.
And you had to use your smarts?
It was really hard to do anything in that game. It's mostly him manipulating machinery or throwing grenades. So that might be a bad pick for a fighting game.
Well, that would be pretty cool too. All he could do is dodge.
And just slap and kick.
He dodges and kicks you in the butt. He does 1 damage. Yeah. That's all he can do.
Yeah. I just thought it'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool. There. Couldn't you, mind control the enemies sometimes, too?
That's right. Oh, yeah. Fuck! How did I forget about that? The chanting. Yeah. He chants.
Oh, you could just summon creatures.
Yeah.
That would be super awesome. Because those creatures look so weird.
Yeah, that fucking, scorpion crab thing that didn't have arms was really fucked up. Spider.
They all look like they came out of Tim Burton's Beetlejuice.
Yeah, kinda.
They had 5 legs.
Yeah.
And they would have tentacles coming out of their face. And they'd be wearing gas masks and have machine guns. Very, very dystopian.
Those games are really fucked up because a lot of times you'd be playing and they just pop up out of nowhere and I was like, fuck! You can only run so fast and then they always catch you and eat you. Damn alien creature fucks.
We'll get to the aliens later.
Oh yeah. I was having some trouble thinking about a 5th, but I figured, let's go with Batman. Put Batman in Smash Brothers.
That would be rad. I was thinking about that too. Batman or Superman.
Yeah.
Because people are voting for ones like that, just the most famous of whatever industry or company. Or what if anyone's voted for Obama?
Sure, someone did. I mean, if you're voting for dolphins.
I don't think that I'm the only one that's getting drunk and voting for Smash Brothers characters.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, put Batman in there. They could probably just like give him all the moves that he
You're
has.
going down, punk. Mamma mia!
And they just give him the moves that he does in Injustice, like run over people with the Batmobile, attach bombs on their bodies, shit like that.
No, they'd have to cartoon it up. If they were going to put a Batman in there, they should put Brave and the Bold Batman.
Ah, yeah.
That would be super rad. Switch between all the colors of the rainbow for a suit when you select them.
Wait, what?
Like Rainbow Batman. Don't you remember that episode of Brave and the Bold?
No, I think I missed that one. I told you, I didn't see all of them. So I guess I missed some.
But yeah, I would love to be like a pink Batman in Smash Brothers.
That'd be interesting.
What would his final smash be? Runs you over in a car?
probably the Batmobile.
No, he'd
Or
have
the
to have,
Batplane.
he'd have to have something more cartoonish. He should have the what do you call it? The satellite shoot them.
The Bat satellite.
What is it called? The Spaceship of Love? No. That's Mystery Science Theater. What the fuck? The Watchtower. That's what Batman. That's
Justice
what Batman
League.
satellite is called.
Oh wow.
Well, when I think satellites, I think the satellite of love. Sorry. I watched a lot of Mystery Science Theater when I was little.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Or no, the perfect Smash Attack would be like all his vehicles. The Batmobile, the Batplane, the Batboat, the Batcopter.
Oh, we've been a fool this whole time. It's so obvious. Mega Man, his final smash in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, he summons all the Mega Man. Like, Mega Man shows up, Mega Man Volnut from Mega Man Legends, and Mega Man X, and Mega Man EXE, and everything. And they all show up, and they all shoot the crap out of him with all of their arm guns. What if they did that with Batman? Did you at least see that Brave and the Bold episode? Where he traveled through time to bring all the Batman? Yeah.
Wasn't there like a gorilla?
It was the
Batman
climax
too?
with, it was the second part of the climax where he teams up with Red Hood.
Yeah.
In the alternate universe to take down Owlman. And so he uses the time travel to summon other good Batman. And then they have Cowboy Batman and Gorilla Batman and like that floating Batman with the giant brain.
I don't remember that one.
You don't remember that one? Because and they're fighting all the villains because Owlman gathered up all the villains or whatever. You could see brainy Batman fighting Gorilla Grodd or one of the other psychic guys with like a psychic mind battle.
Fuck, you gotta watch that episode.
Yeah, man, Brave and the Bold. That's like it's hard to say because it seems like every Batman cartoon series has been like the best one.
Yeah.
Because they pretty much nail it every time. But Brave and the Bold is just my personal favorite just for the atmosphere and the comedy of it and how it's a little more of a throwback to
Campy Batman.
Yeah, like campy 60s Batman.
Yeah.
But they give it a nod, but still show that, hey, this isn't as campy and ridiculous as you think when you see the ridiculous old Batman comic covers and memes of Adam West running around with a bomb on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, they really did that show really well.
Alright, we got way off track with that. Did you have any more suggestions besides Batman?
No, that was it.
Alright, well, as our bonus one, I guess, we should have included someone from The Simpsons.
Yes.
It'd have to be Homer, right?
Yeah.
They could have a Homer-Bart tandem like the Ice Climbers.
Yes.
Homer would have to choke someone for his grab, right?
Yeah.
Why you little?
Bart with the skateboard. And Homer probably throws cans of Duff.
And burps and farts like Wario.
There you go. We should get jobs with Nintendo with ideas like this.
Hire us. I got a better idea. Let's just stalk some of their highest corporate members.
Sounds good.
It's the only reasonable thing to do, right? Finally, now that we've gotten all the people we want and know aren't going to be in the game, I had a couple predictions for who Nintendo actually is going to put in the game. First up, I think the most likely candidates are the most boring, which are people that were excluded from Smash Brothers after being in it. Maybe Squirtle or Ivysaur might come back in some form. I would think Squirtle could maybe get his own individual character. I doubt they'll have Squirtle and Ivysaur team up alone without Charizard, because Charizard is his own character now. I think they have a slight chance of getting back in. Ice Climbers, I don't think are going to get back in. because Sakurai has specifically stated that they won't work in the 3DS version of the game.
I don't think they're very popular characters.
I love them, but only because they were so weird and difficult to use. So it was kind of like a matter of pride if you could get good with them despite their shortcomings.
Yeah.
Of course, I think Wolf will come back. Boo! Because I don't want Wolf back. We already have Fox and Falco, and Fox, you could one of his alternate costumes, he even has wolf colors. So who needs Wolf? Just put these wolf colors on Fox and it's exactly the same thing.
It's good
I know
enough.
people will say it isn't, but geez, just come on. 3 characters that were practically the same character, except like slight differences in like speed and direction of attack.
Yeah.
But I could never use Wolf when I could use Fox. And I barely ever use Falco when I could use Fox. So adding like a 3rd tertiary character to that lineup just felt so meaningless.
Yeah.
But I think he's a shoo-in. Still, Snake also, because he was in a previous Smash Brothers.
He's not in the new one?
No. It would be harder to argue him in because Snake hasn't even been on a game since like Brawl was the last time Snake was in a Nintendo game. None of his regular series ever shows up on Nintendo systems anymore. Oh, except Metal Gear Solid 3D Snake Eater. But that was a remake, doesn't count. I'm hoping an upcoming game by Nintendo called Splatoon. It's basically a squad-based shooter, and you shoot ink instead of bullets. So if you don't hit the character, like ink's all over the floor and stuff, and you can shapeshift into a squid and travel through the ink that's the same color as yourself. So you can move across the battlefield really quick if you lay down like lines of ink.
That's pretty crazy.
Then you could like sneak up behind people and stuff. Yeah. That's pretty intense, right?
Yeah.
It's like some Rambo shit. I think since that game will be long out by the time the Smash Brothers ballot closes, so I think a character from that game has a really strong chance of making it into Smash Bros. And that I would really love. Of course, I haven't played the game yet. It isn't out yet. But just the design of the characters just looks really cool and they stand out really well. Especially against other Nintendo characters.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be good.
Plus, like, they have guns and ink and everything. They're pretty much built to be in a fighting game. Just as much as a shooting game.
Yeah.
I think we're almost exhausted Smash Brothers. We're almost there. We're in the home stretch. The final thing I want to talk about was downloadable content costumes for Smash Brothers. I know this just seems superfluous to most people, but I went balls deep into the Mii creator for Smash Brothers because the 50 characters they put in weren't enough for me. I've already said I voted for people like Blake Griffin, and of course I want characters like Chun-Li and Sammy in the game. So what's the next best thing? I make Mii characters of them. I have Blake Griffin in the game, and LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant. I have Ryu, Chun-Li, Sakura, and Ken. I have characters from a bunch of different games, just because I wanted to make them.
Yeah.
I really hope that they continue to come out with the costumes, because now I have the chance to make even more characters. The one thing I was most mad about is there's not nearly enough costumes for your Mii characters. And I thought if Smash Bros. Wants to come out with DLC, that is the exact perfect place to put it. The costumes don't affect the character, it's just how it looks. It doesn't affect the game in any way. So how could you not just put your rookie programmers on that and just make a ton of costumes? And that's what they're doing now. They've come out with some Mega Man costumes, Legend of Zelda costumes, and a couple of random different shirts and hats and other things you can get for your Mii characters.
Yeah.
So that's super cool, and I hope they continue doing that.
Well, yeah, like if they don't want to put certain characters in, at least you go with the costumes and you just make them yourself. It makes sense.
I have a certain obsession with any create a character, create a track, create a stage, whatever you call them in whatever game they are. I like creating things.
Everybody likes to feel like God every now and then.
I like to build, not destroy. Now I think that's everything for Smash Bros. At least until Lucas comes out. GameCube, Nintendo, 5% tint, so you can't see up